If it's knowledge, humour, or a different perspective that you seek, look for the wisdom in the words that we speak. Words and wisdom. We'll let you decide.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Words and Wisdom. If you are a previous listener, if you're not, welcome to Words and Wisdom. My name is Zak Mikey.
Rhythmical Mike.
We are your hosts for the podcast in which we delve into all kinds of topics: sex, anxiety, love, anger, and everything between. We come from the right, we come from the left, and we come in between.
Mate, go straight into the podcast now.
Speaking of which, today's podcast is going to be about semen retention, so we ain't going to be coming nowhere. It's funny because on the topic of semen retention, we've also recently... We've also...
Could you imagine our little baby?
Oh, Mikey.
That'd be the hairiest little tyke ever.
Am I the mum or the dad, or which one shall I be?
I'm happy to reverse roles every so often, you know.
Yeah, I like that, mate. Equality.
Monday to Thursday, I'll be the dad.
Yep.
And then Thursday onwards, I'll be the mum.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And so, Mikey, congratulations from myself and all of our listeners, I'm guessing.
Cheers, guys. I mean,
the new edition.
you weren't reciprocating in this congratulations, but thank you anyway.
Yeah, I'm forcing their congratulations.
Yeah. But honestly, it's the best thing to ever happen to me, genuinely. Like, I've never felt like this over anything or anyone before. I know we were speaking quite a lot just before the podcast, but you met Ella and just feeling that vibe that me and Chrissy were sharing.
Incredible, man.
The energy, we say energy a lot in this podcast. I like that word.
Everything's energy. Everything is energy.
And I've been given a new perspective. I've been given something brand new in my life that I couldn't comprehend. As I was saying to you, all my life it's been quite selfish, it's been quite egotistic, done things I feel wholesome and trying to help people, but I think sometimes it does come from a selfish part of me and all mind created. When I met Ella, I was like, wow, like everybody before this, they didn't need me in their life. I wasn't there a necessity. It was just a nice addition. Whereas Ella was like, no, I need you now. Like, you have to help me survive, get to a certain age where I can fend for myself. And that feeling, it grabbed my heart, man. And I was like, oh, God.
It's funny, mate, because when I walked in, I felt it myself. Because obviously energy is contagious and vibrations and stuff. When I was sat with you and Chrissy and Ella, I just felt this warm feeling in my chest, like I don't know if it was I was part of it or if I just felt your energy, and it was beautiful, mate. Such a beautiful feeling. And
I know today's episode we're going to get onto semen retention, but I just felt it was so written in the stars for me to have a daughter, and for me to be in all this female energy at the moment, because I've been given a new form of respect for women. I really have, and it's changed my approach to them. Because, as we've spoke about in podcasts, I don't know what we've got onto now. We're doing so many podcasts. I love it. But I've had really bad relationships with women, really bad relationships with sex, and formed that up. And it's built up a dangerous attitude in my mind to porn, to wanking.
And towards women as well.
To all these things. So in that moment where I saw the midwife, Chrissy, and another nurse in together, and they were all just spurring each other on. There was this strong power all together, and I couldn't be part of it. I was just witnessing and observing it. And then later on down the line, Chrissy, who was the centerpiece of this moment, and she's giving life. And then to a girl who's, again, another powerful part of this energy and source. I just was taken back by it all, and it changed me how I felt towards women. I was like, right, first I love women, then I started to understand women, but now I really respect women.
That was beautiful, what you just said there.
It was something other, man. I promise you, that's stuck with me, and it will stick with me. That I'm not going to change that view.
Mate, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I can't even come back with anything for that because I've not experienced it. But I'm enjoying your experience, man. I'm enjoying you going through this, which is weird.
I think it's gonna help towards these podcasts. It's gonna help towards how I conduct myself on the daily, and I'm just really enjoying this exploration and finding out this new path. Because times before, you know, when you're on self-discovery mode, it's quite dark. It's quite a long, arduous path where you're like, I'm just knackered now. I want the answer. But now it feels like, oh, every day I'm learning, but wicked. Let's learn, let's take on, let's find new
And it's
things.
funny because as human beings, we love to learn. When we learn, we get a response of dopamine and stuff. So it's like, I mean, I'm learning how to wild forage at the minute, which isn't quite having a baby, but like when I'm walking around with my little app on my phone and I'm going, ooh, look, a new plant, and oh, it's edible, oh, and it does this and this. So like you're going through it on like an experience of where you're learning about human life and how to bring a human up and into this world. That's insane, mate.
Are you getting quite what feeling are you getting from that while you're learning and on that mission of like the plants and foraging though? Because that feels very, very natural. I bet we're experiencing a similar feeling of just the universe, just like the universal truths coming through to us.
Well, I think anytime you're learning or experiencing anything new, it is a similar feeling anyway, because it's just how the brain works. The brain's wired up to give you a positive response when you take on something new, because obviously that would help you survive going forward.
Yeah.
So obviously there'll be different emotions and feelings in terms of having a child or a chid. A chid. Should we call it a chid?
Yeah, I got a little chid.
Got a little chid, mate. So obviously there's different feelings and emotions that come with having a child and a human being than like, eating berries and mushrooms. But I think it is a similar process of learning and just getting to know life.
And still from them, going back to how our ancestors lived, going back to them like experiencing the raw, real emotions, not like I've completed a new game or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel as wholesome is the best word of today.
Mate, definitely. Just learning about like all these plants and what they can do for your health, and obviously I think the one goal we all have is to live as long and as possible, as healthy as possible, and so as happy as possible. And to do that, you have to understand the body, and you have to understand food, and you have to understand all these things. And when you start understanding, I mean, I found out that the vine leaf, you can use that to help improve bronchitis, COPD, or like asthma, or your lung stuff. So you can make a tea out of it, or you can make a medicine out of it and have drops of it, or you can make like a powder. I don't know how to make the medicines yet, but I learned that there is things out there that we're surrounded by that can help improve our health and life. So that for me, that's like, wow.
Nature and plants be the medicine.
So back to semen. Back to semen, mate. So
what a segue.
What a segue, mate. Yeah. We're going to talk today about the retention of semen, so abstinence, not ejaculating. This podcast is going to be spoken about from a man's experience, obviously. That's all I know. However, I have been in conversation with females about this topic, and they say that it has worked for them in certain ways as well. So females, if you are listening to this, and it is something that interests you, do look into it. I'm sure there's plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of information out there in books and on the internet in terms of abstinence for females and how it improves what we're going to speak about. So, Mikey, have you got any questions before we
That's so funny, because I was just going to say, can I ask a question? So thank you for being that intuition. Zach is on it again. I was going to say, what got you down this line, semen retention, fapping? I'm really interested to know what took you down this path.
So we're going back about 4 or 5 years, and I was just getting into personal training. I'd left my 9-to-5 job, and I was looking into health, because obviously I'm a personal trainer. I'd got into the health route, and I'd acquired, this is when I was going into kind of mindfulness as well. And I'd acquired a book by the Dalai Lama called Enlightenment, or The Path to Enlightenment.
He didn't give it you, did he?
Well, we was just chilling, having a smoke, couple of drinks, and he goes, Zach, I got a book for you, in it, is what he said, exactly in those words, with that tone. No, so I got a hold of this Dalai Lama book, and I started reading into this, and first few pages was about like the 7 sins, lust, blah, blah, blah. The one that really struck me was lust, because we've spoke about both of our addictions to sex and pornography. So it really resonated with me. I'm thinking, okay, this seems like there must be a reason for why for thousands of years Buddhist monks and other, Christians do the whole retaining semen or not having sex before marriage. There's got to be a reason for it. So I went into, because at this point I was sleeping with women here, there and everywhere, and I thought, well, let's give it a go. Let's just give it a go. So I stopped masturbating. For my first attempt doing it, I think it was like a couple of days and it was a week here and there, but I got a record of like 4 or 5 months During these 4 or 5 months, I was the happiest I've ever been. I was relaxed. I was calm. What else? I was muscular. Like my body was building really quick. I was feeling strong. During this time, I went self-employed. I left the gym that I was working at because that was all like I couldn't be myself. I just went self-employed. Like my journey started from there. I also relieved my anxiety that I was struggling with completely. So anxiety disappeared. Confidence went up, which I know why now. So then I related that back to why my anxiety came about, because it was when I started watching porn and I was getting involved with women. That's when my anxiety came on as a kid. So yeah, that's where it started basically. It was in a book by the Dalai Lama, and I wanted to try it out. And then moving forward, I met a girlfriend, Rebecca, who's now my best friend, which is beautiful. And I started having sex with her, etc. But it's funny because doing that semen retention, I invited in a better female into my life, because Rebecca is an incredible human being. She taught me so much about unconditional love and everything. But by avoiding lust and the negative emotions, I attracted beautiful things into my life. So anyway, we started having sex in a relationship, and I went back onto porn, I went back onto masturbation, blah, 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 and ejaculating. I left it for a few years, but I always knew now, I had this understanding that it was a positive thing for me. It increased my energy, it was beautiful. So then it was the first lockdown, the start of this year. I was like, how can I improve? Because I want to be building during this time. How can I improve my energy and what I'm doing? I don't know, let's go back to semen retention. So it's funny because I went onto YouTube and typed it in, because I thought at this point, there's bound to be something out there.
Okay.
Now there's actually loads of YouTubers doing content on it.
Channels and channels.
Oh, there's channels and channels, and there's a following going on. There's a movement with it. Everyone describing the benefits that I'd experienced with, just by doing it on my own. So I'm thinking, this shit is real. Because for years I'm thinking, why is no one talking about this? This is incredible stuff. So, and now what I do is first lockdown, I did it for 77 days. And during that time, I was building. I had this like unrelentless energy, mate. Like, it's incredible the amount of energy you get, the confidence that came with it. My ability to communicate more effectively, my ability to verbally string up sentences and be more fluent with what I'm saying. What else? No depression, no anxiety, like literally none, mate. Okay, I had days where I was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit today. But that was nothing compared to my bad days when I'm not backed up. I like to say backed up when I haven't got a sack full of semen. Then I started having sex again and masturbating again, and then I got back onto it. And now what I do is I've kind of got a balance to it. I kind of use it when I need it, because I find it takes me like 3 or 4 days to get that energy surge, to get the benefits from it. Now, those benefits continue to build. Eventually, you do level off and you just experience this unrelentless energy and this good feeling continuously. But what I'll do now is I won't masturbate, generally speaking. I've just done 40 days of no masturbation. However, the other night I had a drink, a smoke, and I treated myself to a wank, a wafty crank. Treated myself, mate. I set it all up. I had my laptop there. I had got some oils out and stuff.
I don't need to know.
Oh yes, you do. And I treated myself, but I allowed myself to do so. So I've created a new relationship with it. And when I was doing it, it was more like I was kind of getting to know myself and making love to myself, which is kind of a weird principle.
Beautiful though, I like what
it feels beautiful. It feels less like, when you've done it, you don't feel, what have I just done? You feel like, relieved, mate. I've just relieved some pressure. I am kind of seeing somebody at the minute, so I am involved in a sexual relationship. So what I do is I don't masturbate, generally speaking. I have sex maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. However, if like last night, I knew that I had a podcast this morning, I use retention because I want to make sure that I can give these people, hopefully, some really good information and communicate more effectively. I know that when I ejaculate multiple times in a row, especially day 1, day 2, day 3, I've ejaculated on all 3 days, I'm less social. I don't want to speak to people. I just want to be in my shell. I just want to sleep. I just want to eat. I don't want to talk to people. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling agitated. Like when I'm driving, I'm like, people are in my way. And now when I'm retained, I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I'm at peace. And so, yeah, I use it basically now rather than adhere to a strict regime.
I'm really enjoying listening because it's something I've tried elements in my life, But you spoke really articulately then on like self and what it's done for you. I was just wondering, have you had these conversations as well in the past with other people, with friends, with, you said with females, but what experiences they're having? Because I also think when things come out as huge things and everyone's got a channel on them, like you see it with diets, it comes a bit of a fad and everyone jumps on board. You know what it's done for you, but because of your past and my past, we're very similar people. We've ended up having, like we say, toxic relationships with sex, with ourselves, excessive porn, excessive masturbation. Do you know people that maybe haven't been through that journey, but still have found it work for them? And still, do you think it would work for everybody? Does everybody need to try out semen retention? Or is it for just the people that are in confusion and in struggles with sex?
I believe that 95% of us have had bad relationships to sex, with sex.
Okay.
Because it's something that we explore. Like, who comes into this world knowing how to ride a bike fluently and being able to pull wheelies? Nobody. Who's fell off a bike?
Everybody.
So, like, sex isn't something that we have an understanding of. We have to build an understanding. Therefore, I think we all go through some kind of bad relationship to it and some kind of even a mild addiction to it. Like, everybody likes to orgasm.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like to orgasm?
Yeah.
Leave a comment below if you don't like to orgasm. Nobody. So
there is, it's only like a very small population. It's called asexual, because I remember Stephen Fry. I learnt about it from Stephen Fry, but it's a tiny
and again,
population.
like, is asexual from birth, or is it something, because I've felt asexual at times where I'm like, I just don't feel sexual towards anything. Is it something that's and it is a small population, so maybe the 5% that I didn't.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is most people, I think, have got the bad relationship, some addiction to sex and trying to figure it out, confusion with it. So do I believe that everyone should try it? Yes. I believe everyone should try everything and see what works for you. I'm not saying it's the be all and end all. I'm not saying don't go ejaculating. We are going to talk about having sex without ejaculating in this podcast later. I'm not saying don't ejaculate at all or don't have an orgasm. I'm saying experience what it's like to go without it. See how you feel. Do you feel more energetic? Are you experiencing better connections with people? We'll talk about the benefits as well later. And then what you do is you have a wank or you have sex and you ejaculate or you orgasm. Okay, how do I feel now? Am I tired? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling more energetic now? Like, what's working for you? Try it out. I think definitely everybody should try it. Have I experienced my experiences with other people who have gone through it? So my male clients who I train, I tell people what I'm doing. And they know, they can tell when I've bust nut the night before, because I'm lethargic. I don't really speak to them much. I've not got much energy. I'm not very motivated. I also know, I'm getting to a point now where I can tell when other people have done it.
Right, interesting.
Because their eye contact is less, their energy is lower, they can't be bothered, their strength is down in the gym. They're like, oh, I'm really struggling today. I'm like, when was the last time you had a wank? And they say, well, earlier today. I'm like, well. Yeah, and then I've got people to do 3 or 4 days without it. And I've said, how do you feel? And they say, I thought you was bullshitting, but I feel a lot better. So it is something that we should all give a go. We should all give it a go.
And interesting, because I've listened to a few podcasts on it now, had a few discussions with my partner as well, and it's been really interesting how people perceive it. For me, I've tried it out a bit, and it really has worked. Everything you just explained, I'm smiling at, because I had probably Chris is pregnant and going through all her changes, we didn't have as much sex. So I'm not going for a crafty one in the back room, just like, ooh, here we go. I'm just like, right, you're on that mission, I'm on that mission, let's do this now. And I did feel my days were more energized. Everything you said reflected with me. I just wondered if, because of the relationship we've got with wanking and with sex, if it really is that way inclined with us, because we've had such a bad relationship with it. To play devil's advocate and hear what some males have had to say or think of, is like when they need a wank or they need to dispel that energy somewhere or some way, giggity, but they've had that moment where it gives them clarity. So all they can think about is sex. I need a woman, texting everybody, doing everything they can. They're getting irritated, they're getting furious, anger. Have a wank, and then they've got this moment of clarity. But that can last for the day, for however long. It's not an hour later, need another one. Whereas if it was me, that would be the case. I would be like, right, clarity, have another wank.
So I'm going to say that everything can be used as a tool when necessary. What I'd say there is, what do you need clarity for example? Like, what does said person need this clarity for? They're thinking about sex. Are they thinking about sex and all this because they've not got anything else going on in their life? Because I know when I'm busy on my craft, when I'm busy training, when I'm busy training other people, when I'm busy... Right now, I'm not feeling sexual at all, which is positive, because that means I'm not gay, and we can maintain our friendship in this way, the platonic way.
God damn it.
Sorry. But when I'm doing podcasts or when I'm on my craft, I don't feel sexual because we're using that energy in other aspects. When you're in the gym training around loads of men and you've got a pump on, you don't necessarily feel sexual, because you're busy under the bench, you're busy. If a girl walks in and you're not training, you're like, I feel a little bit sexual now. But when you get back under the bar again, you're straight back into, because you can't be sexual and get that at the same time.
I think that's one. Sorry to.
Well, let me just carry on first. What I'm trying to say is, use that energy in a different way. It's called transmutation of sexual energy.
Okay.
So basically, what you do is there's breathing involved. There's there's mindfulness involved. It's becoming aware, and it is a long process of just being self-aware. It's like, okay, I'm feeling sexual. I'm feeling horny. Is there anything I can do right now to take the energy from this area, because that's where the energy is. Hence why you get an erection, or women get fanny flutters, and they get blood go to the clitoris, so it's more sensitive. Can I now take that energy up? You can, by breathing, pelvic floor contractions. That's two simple ways that you can do it there. And then once you've got that energy going up, you focus on your head and you start breathing, you do some meditation, or you go out for a run, you read a book, you do something positive and productive, because sexual energy is creative energy. What does it create?
Babies.
Creates babies, mate. Creates fucking life. Think how much energy you need to create life. Think if you're getting rid of that energy every day. If it's creative energy, we can use it to create other things, therefore, in our life.
I was only going to dive in with the bit of that was, I can come in with the empathy towards those people, because I've always had a busy life. Like, I've been abroad, travelling, then been back. I've never had nothing to do. It's always been work and X, Y, and Z. So I can come in with the empathy of, I've had the moments where it should have been edits, or it should have been something else doing, which would have benefited much more than women at the time. But because I couldn't get past that idea of I need a woman, and I'd just be leaving that to the side and just texting furiously and frantically texting, trying to get it. If I hadn't got it, I'd feel irritable, and then I'd be going on to porn sites, and it'd probably give me that half an hour discourse of, I can do a bit of work now, and go back round to that. So it wasn't that I wasn't busy or didn't have things to do, but like you just really well put then, I wasn't channeling it. I wasn't taking that feeling and emotion and going, right, sit on that, not literally, but calm with that and use it differently, like dispel it. But it is very tricky for a young adolescent man, maybe 23, 24, to have that level of awareness
and willpower and
self-discipline to do. I didn't have that. So my question therefore is, like, how do you grow that? Because it was so painful for me and I couldn't do that, but maybe I didn't know, I didn't have the knowledge. So
okay, cool. So you've just said it there, you need to educate yourself, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring an awareness to people so they can go forth and educate themselves on sexual energy, on sex, on semen, on retention, on stuff like that, the spiritual side as well. I've got two questions. Question one is, when did I say I started? How long ago did I say I started this journey of semen retention?
Was it 4 years?
4 or 5 years
4 or 5
ago.
years, yeah.
So therefore, anyone that's just starting out, don't worry. It ain't easy. Of course, it's not easy. You've spent 15, 20, 25 years, maybe more, religiously
Come
masturbating.
into-
Religiously masturbating. Like, every day. Like, religiously.
100
Oh,
now.
God, dear God. So, no, what I'm trying to say is it does take time, mate. And I'm
Yeah.
still learning now. I'm going in to learn about tantric sex and the control. Tantra is, we'll speak more about this in a minute. Tantra is discipline. Tantric sex is disciplined sex where you can have a better orgasm, but we'll talk about that in a second. My other question is, you said, the way you put it there was like, I used porn, masturbation, ejaculating to give me some clarity. Also, was your relationship to women and ejaculation at that time healthy for you?
No, not at all.
No. So you had to go into that and figure that out and delve with that. So if they are using it for clarity, maybe they are also, it's not a healthy, it isn't, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with this. It isn't healthy to have to use ejaculation to be able to concentrate. It's not healthy. Sometimes it's part of the journey. It's something that everybody should need to get out of, though, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're never going to be anything but a wanker, literally.
I was going to say that there probably is lots of wankers out there listening to this.
Comment below if you're a wanker, a prolific wanker.
I think I'm very much, everything you're saying is speaking to me on volumes, and I think there probably is a 90% of mini Zaks, mini Mikeys out there, hundreds of thousands, that could listen to this and be like, oh, that's something that I could implement in my life that would benefit me greatly if I try it. A little part of me is saying, this is our understanding and our perspective because of everything we've been through. I've got this feeling there probably are some wankers out there that can have a wank and get on with their days and live in a beautiful way. But try it, like, as well. Like, it may give you that extra spill of energy. It might give you that extra.
So I'm gonna come back at that, and what I'm going to say is, when I was masturbating and wanking, and I didn't know about the benefits of semen retention, and that's important. If you want to do anything, change anything in your life, intent, you need to know the benefits and you need to have an intention.
It's cool, man. I like that.
So research the benefits, feed your brain with benefits. And I still do that to this day. If I fall off, I'm like, right, YouTube, benefits of semen retention. Just remind myself of how it feels. Okay, when I was masturbating and ejaculating, I was anxious, depressed, blah, blah, blah. But that was the norm. That was my normal life. So yeah, I was still going about my day. I was still getting the tasks done. I was also on medication for anxiety and depression. I was also not happy with life, and I was also doing a terrible job. So yeah, I was going about my day, and it becomes, what I'm trying to say is, if you do something all the time, that becomes the normal habit. And it becomes the normal. Like, if you drink every day and you wake up with a hangover the first day, the second day the hangover's less, the third day it becomes normal because you're used to it. It's not that the hangover's gone, or the alcohol stopped having a negative effect on you. It's that you're used to it.
And when you don't turn it into a habit, but you have alcohol every so often, it makes it so good. the moments of going out with your mates, having a big session, is just new again, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can relate that to ejaculation, because when you have a week off and you have a wank, or you treat yourself, like when I treated myself the other night, I hadn't watched porn for 40 days and I decided I was going to watch porn. Just the deciding of doing it, I was excited again, mate. I had my laptop, I was and then when I spent time with it, I was experiencing it. I was what's the word, adventuring. I was like, trying it out. What I'm trying to say is I enjoyed it more because I'd restricted myself.
I really like what you said there, and like having it as, instead of a habit, a hobby. But every so often treating yourself with that, like sex in particular as well. I remember them moments where me and Chrissy have just lived busy lifestyles, like just been at it, away from each other. I've been traveling and doing them things. The moment we come, it is the best moment. It is more connected. It is more honest. It is more explorative. And even though you've been together 3 years plus, it still feels like a new experience when you give it some time apart. When it is every other day or every day, it gets into that habit. I love what you said.
It becomes the norm. So what I want to do now is I want to talk about the benefits, because we just said that people need to understand the benefits to know that they're going to carry on with that. Like, why should they retain? Why should they abstain? I'm going to list the benefits that I've experienced. Maybe you can list some that you've experienced. So, increasing confidence is one. I've noticed that when I'm retained, I can talk to people, look them in the eye. I can talk to women more effectively. So it is beneficial for attracting women as well, which we'll talk about. But I'm more confident with everything that I'm doing, with everything that I'm saying. There seems to be more authenticity to the words I'm saying. There's more emotion to the words I'm saying. Like, whereas when I'm not backed up, when I'm not retained, I talk a little bit like this, and I don't make eye contact as much. So confidence is a benefit. Hand in hand with that is social interaction. My social interactions improve when I'm retained. I'm happier. I don't know if it's like I'm happier or if I've got more energy, but I'm just like, I just want to do stuff. I want to talk to people. Hey, you over there, I want to talk to you. when I've ejaculated, and I've spent years experiencing this and studying it in my own body. When I've ejaculated the night before, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, just leave me alone today. I'm tired and I'm agitated. At first, I just thought I was having off days. Now I've put it down to that's what it is, along with diet and nutrition. So, female attraction. You get more. There's a weird thing, and I think it boils down to like biology and anatomy. That when you retain, your brain is saying, or your testicles is telling your brain, we are backed up, we are not releasing, therefore we are not reproducing. Your brain's going, right, okay, we need to sort this because our job is to reproduce. This job down here is to get you to reproduce. So your brain makes you more confident because women like confidence. Your brain makes you maintain eye contact because when you make eye contact with a woman and talk to her in a certain way, you can tell that she's more attracted to you. There's a certain, womanizers and stuff like that. Dating coaches will tell you this. It makes your eyes glow a little more. It makes your skin look healthier. Like your body just improves because your testosterone's going up. Your body's improving. You're getting more muscular. And it's more attractive to women. So female attraction is another benefit. What else we got? Okay, the energy I experience in terms of work. I can get up at 6 a.m. I can start working at 7. I can go all the way through till 9. And I don't get that feeling like my head's going to explode. I wake up the next day. I go again. I work Saturdays and Sundays. It's a Sunday today. I'm doing a podcast. I've been busy yesterday. And I feel like I could keep going all day. Okay, so like in terms of if you're going for a business, you're an entrepreneur, try it for a week and see what your work rate is like. Just check that out. That's another benefit. What other benefits we got? Have you got any you want to add?
I've got a couple. One of the best benefits for me was just a sense of pride that I could do it. Like, because I've always succumbed to that feeling, just to having that little glitch, giving it an hour, buff, done. But the fact that I'd managed to overcome that feeling and do it for a week, probably 2 weeks, I felt really proud of myself. Yeah, so that was a big benefit.
And then when you think like 98% of people are busting nut every day and you're not, you feel like, I'm one of the few. I'm one of the few. Man. Okay, what about your workouts? Did you notice any improvement in your
strength?
I was going to say that.
I stole it.
No, I wanted you to say it because I didn't want to say it and then you'd be like, yeah, of course. I wanted to see if you experienced it as well.
That was a particular one for me. Going to the gym, feeling more energized in so many departments, but strength. It must be your testosterone, surely. But I was benching more than I'd ever benched and feeling good about it. And just one thing that you said, like your appeal to women becomes stronger because your brain's saying, oh, we need women, we need to sort this out. I bet there's two sides on that as well, because your brain's probably more relaxed as well, because another side of it knows, oh, we're not having that today, so we can put all this energy in another place. So even though it wants it and it's going, let's try, I feel another part for me was like, I felt more energized because I knew that wasn't going to be a part of my day, and that took a lot of pressure.
That goes back to transmutation. That goes back as human beings, we have the conscious choice of what we do with our energy. So like we can choose to go and waste it all and spill it, as you said, put it in a tissue, or we can decide a conscious decision to say, right, today I've got all this energy, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to put some effort into my YouTube channel, I'm going to put some effort into the podcast, I'm going to go into start this, start that. So you're using that energy in another aspect.
Maybe it starts as a placebo effect, but we even know through science, if you think something's a placebo effect, it will still work. It still works as an effect, and so on. Then later on, the science probably comes along with the ride of it, and you're getting all these experiences that you've had.
Definitely.
And I really did, man. Like, you talked to me about it, I thought, okay, I'm in a part of my life now where I'm not having such sex, I'm not having these times. Instead of going having cheeky, crafty wanks in the back, I'm going to try it. And it really did. Everything you've explained makes sense to me now. And all them feelings I had scientifically make sense.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked for you. I'm glad it worked. And you spoke about sex. So let's talk about to those people who might be in intimate relationships. And obviously they can't say, I'm not having sex with you because I'm trying to retain my semen. So I would suggest is stop the masturbation. Go no-fap. Try no-fap. Stop masturbating and do it for 3, 4, 5 days and see how it feels. Have your sex. Like, also, if you're stopping watching porn and stopping masturbating, your sex life with your partner is going to improve tenfold.
Agreed.
100%. It is what it is. Like, watch the last episode on porn, one of the last episodes on porn, and do your research on what porn, makes you feel and think and act, how it makes you act. So when you cut porn out, you're now going to be more attracted to your partner and you're going to enjoy the sex better. And you can create your own experiences of sex rather than judge it off. Like we spoke about, judge it off porn. Now, I want to talk about retaining during sex. So something called tantric sex, which I'm sure many people have heard of.
Ew.
Sounds a bit crazy, sounds a bit spiritual hippie, or it sounds a bit out there.
Woo-woo.
Bit woo-woo. So Tantra, according to Sadhguru, is basically just the art of extreme self-discipline. Tantric sex is not ejaculating, not having an orgasm in the first couple of minutes, which I'm sure many women out there are going to be like, yeah, do it, lads, do it. So it's about controlling your orgasms. It's about using your breath. You can actually, as a man, have an orgasm in your body and brain. I've experienced this myself 2 or 3 times. And it was at first I was like, what on earth was that? I didn't ejaculate. You have an orgasm.
You were looking at me weird the other week.
That's what it was. And my eyes started to twitch. And I was like, hey, Mikey, hey. So it was, so basically you can have a brain orgasm, a body orgasm without ejaculating as a man. That means you can have multiple orgasms as a man. Now, when you're doing this with your partner, you get to connect better. And when you do have the orgasm or you ejaculate together, you come together, whatever, then it feels so much like more intense, like it's a full body thing. Apparently, according to tantric teachers, instead of having a 7-second orgasm, which is the average male orgasm, I think the female orgasm is like 21 seconds. It lasts a bit longer. Takes longer to get there for them, though. Don't we know it?
The juice is worth a squeeze.
Oh, crikey. So, but we can actually extend that to like a couple of minutes each when we do this tantric sex. So basically, by retaining during sex and controlling yourself and experimenting, experiencing, whilst communicating with your partner about what you want to do and what you're trying to achieve together, you can have a better experience overall of sex and ejaculation.
I think this is great what you're talking about. And the problem is with how we've built society's norms towards sex. There's a lot of men that will be like, no, man, sex, we like to do it like doggy, or you've got about 4 positions, and that's what the women's luxury has got to choose between. But like you're saying, if we can get these relationships, if you've noticed your love life and your sexual life has plateaued at all, why not introduce and incorporate new ideas and thoughts in the bedroom with your partner? She's going to really greatly receive that and enjoy that together. Yeah. And it might not work for you because you might have this idea built up where it's like, this is weird, isn't it? And you can't flow with that. Go through that feeling, because I've had it in relationships where we're like, oh, this is new, this is experimental. But later on down the line, you're like, it adds to it. It gives us another part of the puzzle to put in when we want to use it. And you can have your little quick go in, you're coming in the bedroom, get down there, girl. Of course. But it's good to have all the tools, all the parts to the equation, and you will have a happier lifestyle together. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've covered everything there.
Mate, we best off, because I've got to edit all this.
Okay, guys, basically, what I want to finish on is do your research, first of all. Educate yourself. Educate yourself on the benefits. Educate yourself on what semen retention is. Educate yourself on the body. We've all got one thing in common, well, 2 things. We're all going to die, but we've all got a human body, I should hope.
Yeah.
Unless your cat's listening to this again, Tommy. So we've all got a human body.
Stop wanking, Tommy.
Tommy, you dirty fucker. We want you to understand your body. It's important to understand your body, how it works, why it works, and what you can do with it. So then you want to experience it for yourself. Give it a try. Retain a little bit. Do it for 3 days. Do it for 4 days. Build it up. Is it working for you? If it is, carry it on. Communicate with your partner. Experiment with your partner. See if she's on board. See if she wants to try it out. And just go on this journey. Like, life is one big journey, and it'd be a shame to die and miss out on some of the beautiful things that life has to offer us, wouldn't it?
Mate, I'm just thinking in my head, do you have a quote to end this? Because we usually have a quote, but I was like, this will be a really funny quote, like on semen retention. I've got.
Do you know what?
Like, if you've got one,
I haven't got one, mate.
I pray that it had a pun on it.
Yeah. I just stop jacking off, you dirty fuckers. There you are. There's your quote. Right, mate. Thank you for listening to us as always. I've enjoyed this podcast today. I really enjoyed this one, and I hope it's going to bring you guys some benefit. Please drop us a like, share, do all that business to help with the algorithm, because we want to be famous. Is that what we want? To help people?
It'll be nice to be appreciated for something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah, that's the one. You said that beautifully. Right, peace out, guys. Have a beautiful day.
I'll end with a pun. Come join the journey. See you later, guys.